I thought we'd start the show with a real easy dish to do in the summer. You're going to be doing steaks on the grill this summer. I'm sure you are. It's something that we do a ton of at our house here and then up at the cottage. You know, there's nothing better than steaks on a grill. But how do you take steaks on the grill to a whole nother level? Well, what about serving them with a quick and easy mushroom wine sauce? So simple to do. So I'm just going to kind of show you the method for this. And I think that once you get it, you'll start doing it too, and it's just so quick and easy. So we've got some beautiful beef tenderloin steaks that we picked up from Super Runs in Pulaski, and that's actually where you can get today's recipe. They're carrying some of my recipes there. So stop by and check it out. These are beef tenderloin steaks, and they're very lean, so I like to drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to do them in the skillet, but you can certainly do these on the grill. Season both sides with a little bit of salt and pepper, and I'm doing kosher salt and pepper. Kosher salt is just, you can pick it up so easily, and it really adheres to the meat. It's just a great, I think it's much easier to cook with when you're doing meats, and it has such great flavor rather than the salt that we grew up with. That's better, I think, for baking. So if you haven't bought yourself some kosher salt or some sea salt, pick some up. I think you'll really enjoy it. We love it around here. So we want to season and drizzle with both sides. And then we're going to get to work on our mushroom wine sauce. Speaking of steaks, we have a big night out coming up, and you are invited. We would love you to come. We are headed to a wonderful new supper club in the Hortonville area, and this one's coming up very quick. We're actually going we're headed there, yes, Thursday, July 17th, so yeah, right around the corner. It is going to be a fantastic night. A 5-course meal paired with wine, speaking of wine, and we're going to have steak, we're going to have a seafood course, salad, appetizer, dessert. You can go to our website and get the full menu, but the bottom line is time to get in on this quickly because time's running out and space is limited on this. So $50 per person. It's just a great deal. So give the Loose Wheel a call to reserve your spot. The number's on the screen, 920-851-8079, or you can just go to our website, fox11online.com, click on the Living tab, and you'll see the big, that box there that says Big Night Out, and you can get all the details there. Hope to see you there. It is a blast. Our last one was so much fun, so please come. Okay, I'm just going to give these steaks a quick flip and get them over to this burner, and now I'm going to get to work on our mushroom wine sauce. Okay, so we're going to start with some mushrooms, and the easiest way to clean these guys is just take a clean kitchen towel that's a little bit damp. You don't want to run these over running water because they really will tend to soak up the water, and they're pretty clean for the most part. So we just want to kind of get the soil that they grow in off with a damp towel or a paper towel. And you said that the soil is edible? Well, it might be, but I don't think I'd be a big fan of it. Never was a big fan of eating dirt. Mud pies, I made mud pies as a kid, but no, not so much. But real simple to do. Of course, you could cheat and just buy the pre-cleaned and sliced mushrooms, which makes life even easier. And I just like to trim the ends off a little bit, and we'll slice them up. Now, if I'm doing this on the grill, which I am trying to do everything on the grill when the weather's nice this summer, it's been such a long winter that I just like to keep it all outside. I love to eat outside. Ate dinner outside last night, in fact. I'm just giving these a nice slice, just slice them up. But anyway, what I normally would do is I do these on the side burner of my grill while my steaks are cooking. Keep it all outside and do a nice sauce. I know some people say a good steak doesn't need a sauce. And, you know, I say, I don't know about that. I think a nice sauce complements a great steak. And that's why when you go out to one of these fancy supper clubs or you go to a big city and you see these great steaks and you get, you know, a lot of the steakhouses have your choice of several different sauces to go with the steak, because it really just complements it and takes it to another level. Let me check these steaks here, which are looking gorgeous and smelly and delicious. Okay, so let's get our mushrooms going, and we'll get this wine sauce going. So just a little bit of butter. You could certainly cut back on that and do olive oil too. For me, mushrooms and butter, oh man, what a great combination. So we picked Ireland up from camp. She is home. If you've been watching the show, you may have heard me talk about dropping my daughter Ireland off in New York for almost a month. She was gone almost an entire month. She was at a performing arts camp out there. She's always loved to sing and dance and act and all that kind of good stuff. But man, leaving her there for a month, that's a long time. And they weren't allowed to call or have any electronic devices. They really wanted them to focus on, you know, what they were doing. So there were 2 phone calls during that entire time. I know. It was crazy, but it flew by, and we went to go pick her up. And then when we went to go pick her up, actually, we got to see all the performances that she'd worked on. So I put lots on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So we drove all the way out to this little town outside of New York City with the dog. Arlo the dog went with us. He is amazing. He never made a peep. You know, we had a couple potty breaks along the way. It's like a 14-hour drive. I mean, it was a long drive. And then we stayed for a couple nights and saw all her performances, and it was incredible. But she is home. And it's good to have her home, that's for sure. Okay, so our mushrooms are doing their thing. Let's check on these steaks. These are really thick steaks, so I think I'm going to get them off and tent this one with foil. And then we'll finish up these mushrooms. Okay, so our mushrooms are starting to just cook a little bit, and I'm going to season them with a little bit of salt and pepper. And let me tell you, when the kids come home from camp, hello laundry. It took me about 2 days to do her laundry. I'm not kidding. So you see these mushrooms really soak up that butter. May even add a little more oil. So now I'm going to add a little bit of flour just to thicken this sauce. Kind of tighten it up a little bit. And then our wine is going to come in. A little bit of beef stock and wine. And this is, I told you, this is an easy pan sauce that you can whip up in minutes. And it really dresses up any type of steak. We're doing the beef tenderloin. If you're doing sirloin, New York strip, ribeye, whatever you got, whatever's in the budget. So we're going to add a little bit of beef stock. And then we're going to hit it with some dry red wine. We happen to love our Dora Peninsula wine. Some fabulous wines made locally. And it's a cool place to visit in the summer, too. They've got a great place where you can take a tour just north of Sturgeon Bay and cool gift shop and taste all their different wines. All right. And then the last thing we're going to do is just add some fresh herbs. So the mushrooms are going to continue to cook down a little bit with the wine and that beef stock. Smells so good. Now, if you were doing seafood or chicken, you could do the same exact method, but I would use a dry white wine, like a Chardonnay or a Pinot Grigio, something like that. And that would be a fantastic sauce over like grilled chicken or fish. I love mushrooms with chicken, so the same type of method. So we're just going to do some fresh herbs to finish this off. And we actually happen to be growing some herbs right here on the weather deck. We've got a pot of herbs there. I love using fresh rosemary. Oh, smells amazing. Just put whatever you have. If you've got a little parsley, and if you don't have fresh, you could certainly do some dried herbs. So I love using some chives too. My chives at home have gone a little bit crazy. I need to cut them back a little bit. And I just had a friend actually who was chopping chives and cut himself very badly. So I said, well, shame on you. You should actually use kitchen shears, or even just clean your scissors and use scissors to cut chives. Chives are really hard to, they're very delicate, so they're tough to cut with a knife. So there's your little tip of the day. All right. Look at that, sauce thickened up just a little bit. If it gets too thick on you, add a little more wine. But we are done. We've got this great looking steak here. Medium rare, just like I like it. Spoon some of the mushrooms over that. And cooked up some nice baby red potatoes to go with it. And there you go. We are good to go. And so easy. I mean, how easy is that to whip up a really quick mushroom wine sauce? Anybody can do it. Takes about 2 minutes, so why not take the trouble? And by the way, you can get the restaurant on the website. You can also pick it up at Super Ron's in Pulaski.